What's going on, everybody? This is the Blockchain Backer, bringing you the latest cryptocurrency news and analysis. Today, we're going to be talking about the Bitcoin price chart and the altcoin market because, as you already know, there's been a massive liquidation that has happened out here in the cryptocurrency market this morning, with over $600 million being wiped out from leverage positions, 545 million of that, people longing the market on leverage, buying Bitcoin up here in the retracement levels at the April of 2022 price levels on margin, on leverage, 10x longing ETF, only for it to get wiped out this morning. But I may sound upbeat about it because this is something I've been waiting for. It's been eating at me with anticipation that some type of quick liquidation flash crash could happen in here. A couple of days ago, I put out the 2024 newsletter, the last one of December there, looking forward into 2024. I rarely, if ever, talk about any like short-term price action in any of these things. But in here, I did talk about one thing in particular when it came to the actual altcoin market. I read this in Markets in the Morning. I'll read it for you really quick in case you didn't catch it. But here on the newsletter that I put out just 3 days ago, I stated, based on what I've seen in markets several times before, it seems likely we will see some kind of correction in this market before the real euphoria can kick in. It's just a guess based on structure. For example, with the altcoin market, typically there is going to be a flash crash back to at least this level before a bigger march upward could ensue. Talking about waiting for a bigger flash crash to happen in here because that's what we typically do see. There you go. You got it this morning. That is the minimum requirement for us to come back and hit for a flash crash to be completed. There's a real possibility that was it, and that's all that we needed. There is still a lower level to be cautious about. However, for minimum requirements, the things that were keeping me up at night, the things that made me include this in my newsletter and why I've talked about it so much in Markets in the Morning and previous videos is because it's what we typically see happen right here. Now, with us getting it out of the way, it's less about we still have to do that thing and more of like, okay, that could have been it. That might have been enough. It is something that we typically see. We typically see a flash crash. And for the absolute minimum requirement, we have gone the distance of minimum requirements for that to happen in there. Also, there's things we've been looking at on other charts, such as XRP, this 54-cent price level to get back here and hit it and test it and confirm it as a support. We discussed many times that it could wick through the level, but we'll be looking to see if we can get a daily candle close above the support now for the first time, confirming it as a support, dating all the way back in here, where we had tested it as supports multiple times throughout 2021 and 2022. Unable to get through. We get through on the news. We fail it. What do we fail it on? We fail it on a big liquidation that happened in the market back in August. Then we're able to get through, confirm it. Daily candle closes all hold, and then now, boom, we've got it now. So I'll be putting together a video on XRP specifically because I've been holding off, waiting for something to break from this range. Each time I've talked about XRP, I've mentioned this 54-cent price level. Guess what? It's now been hit. This is actually very similar to things we've seen happen before. So when it comes to minimum requirements of something that we needed in regards to a flash crash, I think we have finally seen it. And this has been something that I've just been antsy about for weeks on end, that would eventually come. It'd likely catch people by surprise, potentially even me. And now we've got it. We can even see this morning some assets recovering already. Arbitrum setting a new all-time high already this morning. It completely recovered the whole thing. And in my personal opinion, this was a necessary step we still had in front of us. I did not think it would be something that would be just a grind back down, but something that would be very aggressive in the market and take out a lot of the leverage that's happening in here. Yesterday, the news, we were reading it in Markets in the Morning, it was saying we're at like the highest level, or that the funding rate for Bitcoin longs was the highest level we've seen in years, which means massive amounts of leverage longing happening up here. Remember, just 2.5 months ago, everybody's screaming for 12K, then the most leverage longing that we've seen at retracement levels. So while today's aggressive. I figured we'd have a lot of viewers over there in markets in the morning today. And that typically happens with aggressive price action when we have an increased viewership that ends up happening in there. But this is something that we've definitely talked about in videos, talking about markets in the morning. And like I said, it's very rare that I include anything like that over here in any type of newsletter where we're talking about short-term price behavior, short-term price direction. This was something that was just so in my face that I actually ended up even including it in here in a newsletter that is totally talking about the whole year outlook ahead. To talk about something like that happening, that we're typically going to see a flash crash back to these levels before a bigger march upward could ensue and before euphoria could really kick in. So if you're out there stressing about what just happened today, that means you haven't been watching. That's okay. That's okay. Hopefully you watch now. Personally, I'm excited to see this, not only for this to have happened over here in the altcoin market, but like we'll do in future videos. I have missed putting out XRP content. I've just refused to do it while we've been range bound. And I've said this in markets in the morning all the time. Ranges by design are chaotic. We've been stuck in this thing, but we've now finally gotten the test. And for that, now we have a lot of stuff to talk about in regards to how these things can recover. And can we be looking for something really big to start working its way out in here now that we've gone ahead and tested the support that was a resistance level for a whole year and a half. And it just so happens to happen at a confluence point of a liquidation in the market. And this liquidation was able to hold, unlike the one that took place back in August, where the rest of the market didn't hold either. And so we got the whole market holding. You got XRP holding. You've got all the elements that we're looking for there, where the Dow is poking into the all-time high. We know this can be a euphoric moment in the market where retail goes crazy, extreme risk, extreme leverage, extreme nuts, because that's what they typically do at peaks. But it's always these ending moments of stock markets. It's always that euphoria that drives that excitement into crypto at the exact same time. So I, for one, am happy to hopefully have that behind us for those who are concerned that we are going to go back down to the even lower level of that in there. The thing, of course, to be mindful of is to be mindful of a retracement. Traders typically will sell at the retracement levels right in here. They'll target lower prices, stopping above all retracement levels, and try to target down to the downside. In the event that retracements get broken back through, becomes invalidated. I'm not going to tell you what to do, but if your concern is that we are going to go down to the lower level, this is a common strategy that would be utilized. As for me, though, I joked around in markets in the morning that it's hard for me to be a moon boy just because I try to be serious, but it is also like infotainment at the exact same time. But I do not try to do like the thumbnails with the whole open mouth face of, oh my gosh. But, you know, this is now getting to a point of a setup here where the supports have been tested. These structures are similar. To look for exciting things to happen in the market now. Especially, you know, my belief is that, you know, we're not going to an all-time high for Bitcoin. That's just been my belief. We typically see that, you know, whenever the juice runs out of steam over here in Bitcoin, there's still that desire to chase some yield out there. There's still that excitement out there of people wanting to chase some yield. And this is really an opportunity and an optimistic time for the altcoin market to have its turn. And so I still think there's a good shot for that here in 2024. And for that specific scenario, it required this flash crash to happen. So I won't keep rambling on here forever, but I just hope you can kind of hear it in my voice. And if you caught markets in the morning, and if you caught the newsletter, and if you've caught previous videos and previous markets in the morning, it's definitely something talked about. They always happen in a blink of an eye when a flash crash happens. And we just so happened to get it a few hours ago. So now I can kind of like put away the stress of thinking that was going to be coming. And now we can kind of start hunting to say, all right, was that good enough? Because my thoughts are that was the minimum we had to do. Now it's going to be about looking for things to emerge in here to say we don't have to go there. But like when I look at things like XRP, I just can't imagine us having to go below here. So I'm pretty optimistic about what we've seen already. And we'll give it a couple of days to kind of settle in and let the market digest what just happened. But if you play with leverage, this is the risk that you do take. It's not like, you know, I talk about like, you know, you can recover from, you know, negative 10%, negative 15%, negative 20%. Negative 100% in a liquidation means it's all gone. So I don't ever promote leverage trading or discuss leverage trading, because this is the result for 99% of people that play in that playground. Goes to zero. But when we flush all of this out of the system, this is how we can build a stronger base. And what we can look back on is say, hey, when are the last times we have had moments where liquidations are this big? We had one back here on December 10th, which was right here. And the one prior to that was way back over here on August 18th. And as we can see, after those style liquidations, there doesn't tend to be much more downside really after that. That really kind of pushes it to its extreme. And the last time we had a major liquidation with XRP was right back over here. And as you see, that level held the whole time, right? People calling for lower the whole time. It doesn't. It's the same thing with FTX and all this stuff. We have these major liquidations that tends to be pretty good. So I'm excited to move forward on the YouTube channel and not be thinking about that constantly. But on that note, we'll go ahead and wrap it up. We'll make it nice and quick and brief today. Hopefully you caught markets in the morning today. If not, hopefully this gives you some better context of what's happening in here. Totally a typical flash crash, as these things usually do. But all right, that's going to be it for this one. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you'd like to see more content from me, of course, you could check out bcbacker.com. This is a course I put together with over 40 videos and over 11 hours of content, deep diving into the historical behavior of the cryptocurrency market and teaching you how to set up your own charts and your own indicators within TradingView and CoinTrader Pro. Teaching you about Elliott wave theory, Wyckoff accumulation, patterns, indicators, research data, and a downloadable PDF in here so you can print this stuff out and keep it for yourself as well. It's available over here on bcbacker.com. Of course, you can check out my newsletter as well that I put out twice a month in here. The most recent one talking about looking forward into 2024, of course, because we ended 2023. Of course, all that stuff out there about developer data, circulating supply inflation, and percentage drawdowns and how those impacted previous cycles and percentage returns for the altcoin market. Those are all still there, available for anybody who does subscribe to the newsletter, whether you're a longtime subscriber or you just sign up today. There's links in the descriptions of each of my videos to the newsletter here at blockchainbacker.substack.com and right on over there to bcbacker.com. Otherwise, that's going to do it for this one. Thank you so much for watching. If you could, please like this video and give it a thumbs up. If you are new to the channel, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can be notified of when I create new content and when I go live. As always, this is not investment advice and I am not a financial advisor. But if you ever need a pick-me-up or a little bit of reassurance, just remember that the blockchain backers got your back. Have a good one.